Good evening, aspirants. Hope you all are doing good. Welcome to Eternal Nursing Education, and a very happy Holi to you all in advance. So today we're going to discuss a very important topic. Okay, that is nothing other than just a second. That is our thoracosynthesis. Okay, so today we're gonna study about thoracosynthesis. Okay, this is a very short topic but a very important topic, and we'll cover it very smoothly. And after this, I hope that you will be very clear about this topic. Okay, so before starting, I have we should see a motivational quote, that is, anything if you want to change in your life, first of all you have to change your mind. Okay, before doing anything, first of all you have to be prepared mentally for that thing, then only you can change that, or then only you can implement that. If it is not here, then you can't implement in your life also. Okay, so first change your mind, then only you can change your life. Am I clear? Okay, so moving on to the next. Okay, so let's start with our topic, that is thoracosynthesis. Can you see the picture that is given below? That is your pleural effusion. Okay, and what is the relation between the thoracosynthesis and what is pleural effusion? We'll study. See, basically in our thoracic cavity, okay, 20 ml of fluid accumulation is normally present. Okay, in a normal in general or in normal human beings, the basic amount of the pleural fluid that is present in the pleural cavity, that is only 20 ml. But if it moves apart from 20 ml, अगर 20 ml से ज़्यादा अगर accomplished रहता है in the pleural cavity, as you can see in this picture, okay, just can you see this? Here the fluid is accumulated and it is more than 20 ml. अगर 20 ml से ज़्यादा अगर occupied होता है in your pleural cavity, then it can lead to pleural effusion. So pleural effusion is nothing but the accomplishment of excessive pleural fluid that is beyond the normal. What is the normal pleural fluid? That is only 20 ml. But if the pleural fluid is occupied more than 20 ml, okay, more than 20 ml pleural cavity, that is called as a pleural effusion. और जो एक्स्ट्रा जो एक्सेसिव द फ्लूइड दैट इज लेफ्ट इन द प्लूरल कैविटी, उसे हम कैसे निकालते हैं? द प्रोसीजर इज कॉल्ड एज थोरैकोसेंटेसिस, ठीक है, और अदरवाइज कॉल्ड एज प्लूरल टैपिंग. सी, thoracosynthesis is also known as your pleural tapping. It is also called as प्लूरल टैपिंग. कैसे होता है प्लूरल टैपिंग? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट वी डू इज, हम एक 25 गेज का नीडल जो होता है अलॉन्ग विद द कैथेटर लाइन, वी इंसर्ट इट इनटू द 7th to 9th intercostal space. Okay, do you understand? Just see. Okay, in between your just between 7th to 9th intercostal space, ठीक है, we insert a 25 gauge needle. Okay, फिर हम क्या करते हैं? वी ड्रेन आउट दोस एक्सेसिव प्लूरल फ्लूइड आउट ऑफ द प्लूरल कैविटी. प्लूरल कैविटी में जो एक्सेस वाटर जो भरा हुआ था, द एक्सेसिव फ्लूइड दैट इज एक्यूमुलेटेड इन योर प्लूरल कैविटी, वी रिमूव दैट. ओके, सो हम कहाँ पे इंसर्ट करते हैं? व्हाट इज द साइट ऑफ द थोरैकोसेंटेसिस प्रोसीजर? दैट इज योर 7th to 9th इंटरकोस्टल स्पेस. हम उसके ऊपर क्यों नहीं करते? 3rd से 5th इंटरकोस्टल स्पेस वी कैन नॉट डू बिकॉज इट कैन लीड टू डैमेज ऑफ द हार्ट. बाय फ्रिक्वेंटली और बाय मिस्टेक और बाय डिफॉल्ट हार्ट को डैमेज हो सकता है. और बियॉन्ड 9 ऑल्सो वी कैन नॉट इंसर्ट. वाई? बिकॉज इट कैन लीड टू puncture of your diaphragm or spleen. Okay, so the best considerable site, okay, that is in a range of 7th to 9th, 7th, 8th और 9th के बीच में जो intercostal space है, there you can insert the thoracocentesis. You can do that procedure by inserting a 25 gauge needle attached to a thoracocentesis catheter tubing. Okay, I'll show this procedure, just a second. Can you see the procedure? Can you see the image given below? See, आपका जो लंग्स है एंड द रिब्स है, बाय काउंटिंग दैट इन द 7th to 8th intercostal space, just see, in between 7th से 9th intercostal space के बीच में we do the procedure. Okay, कैसे करते हैं? You can see, okay, before, and it is a completely, this procedure should be done under the local anesthesia only, you can do this. Okay, so this, see, the anesthetic injection, it is injected, okay, in between this is this 7th 9th intercostal space, और फिर हम लोग उसको इस procedure को implement करते हैं. Okay, and one more thing you need to understand, the thoracocentesis is both a diagnostic and a therapeutic procedure. Okay, just see, the thoracocentesis is both a therapeutic as well as diagnostic procedure. Why so? Therapeutic and diagnostic कैसे हुआ? Just see, क्योंकि the fluid is excessive, it is present. तो if अगर एक बलून में अगर हम बहुत सारा पानी भर देते हैं, so it can lead to bursting of the balloon. Similarly, if excessive of the pleural fluid is getting accumulated in the pleural cavity, it can lead to chest tightness, chest pain, shortness of the breath, okay, and it can lead to your pneumonia as well as lungs infection, right? So to relieve that pressure, okay, और उसको ठीक करने के लिए if you are doing the procedure, then it is therapeutic. Of course, yes, therapeutic means if you are doing for the treatment or the recovery or to cure the pain of the client, okay, chest pain, chest tightness होता है, so to relieve that, it is therapeutic. अगर उसको relieve करने के लिए thoracocentesis if you are doing, then ये एक therapeutic procedure हुआ. एंड आफ्टर दैट हम क्या करते हैं, हम वो प्लूरल फ्लूइड को लेकर इन लैब वी आर एनालाइजिंग इट कि क्या इन्फेक्शन है, किस what are the organisms that are present in it. Okay, in a patholab if you are diagnosing it, हम उसे analyze करते हैं, then it is a diagnostic procedure कि what infection is the reason behind which why such accumulations are being present. Excessive क्यों हो रहा है? Why more than 20 ml fluid is getting excessive in your pleural cavity? क्यों accumulated हो रहा है? If you want to know, so we have to analyze it under a lab. Okay, so it is both a therapeutic procedure as well as it's a diagnostic procedure. Okay. See, this is the how a thoracocentesis is being carried out. Okay, so here it is, here the fluid is being accumulated, we are inserting a 25 gauge needle attached to your thoracocentesis catheter tubing. Okay, here it is the tubing or the bottle in which the excessive of the fluid is being drained out. Okay, हम उसे drain करके यहाँ पे collect करते हैं. Then this fluid is being carried out to your labs. Okay, to understand what is the reason behind it or what are the organisms that are being present or why it is happening. Am I clear? Yes. So this is the procedure. Okay, and now we'll understand what are the causes. अगर ये होता है, so what is the causes? Why we are doing it? Okay, let's understand. So here we go. What are the causes of pleural effusion? What are the causes? If the patient is suffering from congestive heart disease. Congestive heart disease means if in the pericardium excess fluid is being collected out. Okay, अगर pericardium में ज़्यादा fluid अगर accumulated हुआ था in that layer, it is called as a CST, due to which the heart gets congested or it is unable to pump properly. हार्ट ठीक से पंप नहीं कर सकता है, विच कैन लीड टू द नियर बाय ऑर्गन्स आर बीइंग अफेक्टेड, और जिसकी वजह से इन्फेक्शन होकर नियर बाय एरियाज आर ऑल्सो अफेक्टेड एंड इट कैन फर्स्टली इट विल अफेक्ट टू द लंग्स, जिसकी वजह से आपका एक्सेसिव ऑफ योर प्लूरल फ्लूइड इज बीइंग एक्यूमुलेटेड इन द प्लूरल कैविटी. सेकेंड इज योर किडनी डिसऑर्डर्स. If the kidneys are unable to filter out the excessive waste, they are being accumulated in the body. अगर किडनी ठीक से फिल्टर नहीं कर पा रहा है तो क्या होगा, excess of the waste or the urea, the bilirubin, they are being stored in the body itself. Again, it can lead to body edema, fluid collections, accumulations in the organs. कहाँ पे, जैसे heart हो गया, lungs हो गया. Yes, so kidney disorder. Next is your pulmonary hypertension as well as pulmonary embolism. So these are some of your causes of your why thoracocentesis is done. Thoracocentesis हम कब करते हैं? जब excessive of your pleural cavity में pleural fluid भर जाता है, which is also called as a pleural effusion. To relieve out that stress and to diagnose its liquid consistency, we are doing the thoracocentesis. Thoracocentesis is also called as pleural tapping, as I showed you here. It is also called as pleural tapping. Means a fine needle, okay, 25 gauge needle is being inserted into the 7th to 9th intercostal space, okay, from which we drain out the excessive of your pleural fluid. Clear? And that is collected in a bottle or a catheter. Then after that we are taking into the lab for diagnosing it, ki what is the reason behind which the pleural effusion. Okay. Now, so what we went through, we understood the definition and we understood the causes. Yes, and how this process is being carried out, we'll understand it later. Okay, so now what position if you are going to give the client? As a nurse, what's your role? Okay, see, you can see an X-ray image, okay, X-ray image of the how the pleural effusion looks like under an X-ray. And one more thing, important thing is, this sign which is present below, this shape you are seeing, no, this is called as your meniscus sign. This is called as a meniscus sign. This is an important question. If in the exam it can ask, the meniscus sign in an X-ray is seen in which disease condition or in what procedure, and you are able to see it. So you can say it's seen in pleural effusion, okay, or for which we are doing a thoracocentesis. Clear? So this sign is nothing called as your meniscus sign, which is seen in pleural effusion. Clear? याद रहेगा? Okay. सो इन बिटवीन दिस एक जोक मेरे को याद आता है. ओके, एक बार क्या होता है कि एक लेडी, शी वाज ड्राइविंग अ कार एंड शी वाज मूविंग. ओके, फिर क्या होता है ना, एक अचानक से शी ब्रोक द ट्रैफिक रूल बाय मिस्टेक एंड वो थोड़ा सा जो ट्रैफिक जो सिग्नल था उसके जीब्रा क्रॉसिंग के थोड़े आगे जाके कार रख देती है. ठीक है, शी पुट द ब्रेक्स अ लिटिल बिट लेट एंड फिर वो आगे चली जाती है, जिसकी वजह से द पुलिस केम एंड ही स्टॉप दैट लेडी. ओके, ही लेट गो एवरीबडी, बट वो उस लेडी को स्टॉप कर देता है और फिर बोलता है कि यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू गो. सो शी सेज दैट आई एम गोइंग टू स्कूल, आई एम अ टीचर, आई एम इन रश, मे प्लीज अलाउ मी टू गो. ओके, so after that the policeman says that I was waiting for this moment my whole life, मैं इसके लिए पूरा life इंतजार कर रहा था, so that this moment will come and I'll say you, I'll only let you go if you will do your assignment, and that is write down I will never break the signal 100 times in a piece of paper and then submit me. After that I'll let you go. Okay, so this is how a policeman has taken revenge from his childhood. Okay, so jokes apart. Okay, so let's come back to the topic again. So we're understanding the meniscus sign. So this shape is also called as a meniscus sign. Okay, and one more thing, just see this white out part. Can you see? If in the X-ray you are seeing this kind of it is present like this in a whitish appearance if you are seeing in an X-ray, so understand that fluid accumulation is there in the lungs, which can be a sign of your pneumothorax, pneumonia or pleural effusion. So okay, so this is the way you can diagnose. Clear? So this, and if the sign is like this, it is nothing called as your meniscus sign, and it is seen in your pleural effusion. Clear? Yes. Okay, so now understand what kind of position if you are giving to the client before thoracocentesis. Thoracocentesis करने से पहले what is the position if you are going to give the client, किस position में हम इस procedure को carried out कर सकते हैं. You can see the image. This lady is being the thoracocentesis is going on and this lady is being given this position. क्या करते हैं, you have to let the patient sit upright. Okay, sit upright and put a cardiac table, okay, on which she can rest her elbows like this. You can see she is resting her elbows on a cardiac table and she is sitting on the edge of the bed and leaning over a cardiac table, and you have to support her legs on a stool. Okay, so sitting upright, her elbows are resting on the cardiac table, leaning forward, and the legs are being supported by the stool. Okay, and this in this position you are gonna give the thoracocentesis. Okay, so this is the position which is given before procedure. Before procedure, this position is given before procedure. You have to, patient is sitting upright and leaning on a table, and then you have to train. Okay, after position, okay, after the this is before procedure. Before procedure we are going to give this kind of position to the client. Then in your mind, after procedure, what is the position you have to, many times a question has been asked, what is the after procedure position given to the client? So see, the after procedure position is, suppose आपने just see, if here in the left side, okay, in the left side this procedure has been done, so affected side is your left side. Okay, after procedure, in the unaffected side, that is on the right side, you have to let the client to take the position in a side lateral position on the unaffected side. Okay, and the head of the bed, okay, the head of the bed will be elevated, the head of the bed will be elevated to 15 to 30 degrees. Okay, सो आफ्टर प्रोसीजर आप कैसे क्लाइंट को कैसे पोजीशन नहीं दे सकते हैं, ऑन द ऑपोजिट साइड, जिस साइड पे द प्रोसीजर हैज बीन कैरिड आउट, ऑन दैट ऑपोजिट साइड यू हैव टू, ऑन द अनअफेक्टेड साइड, मेक द क्लाइंट लीन इन अ साइड लेटरल पोजीशन ऑन द अनअफेक्टेड साइड, एंड द हेड ऑफ द बेड विल बी एलिवेटेड बाय 15 to 30 degrees. वाई 15 to 30 degrees हम इस हेड को एलिवेट क्यों करते हैं? बिकॉज if the head of the bed will be elevated, the patient will be able to respire properly, breathe properly. To enable a proper and a smooth respiration, we are giving this procedure. Okay, so next time if will be asked what is the position given after thoracocentesis, as a nurse आप कौन सा position patient को देंगे? So you have to say, on the unaffected side, let the client lie on the unaffected side, and the head of the bed will be elevated 15 to 30 degrees. Okay, yes, and during the procedure, as a nurse, I mean before procedure, as a nurse, what are the instructions you are going to give the client? As a nurse, what is your role? We'll understand that. See, हमने procedure देखा. Okay, we saw the procedure, we saw the site, this is the 7 to 9 intercostal spaces. We understood the causes, what are the causes, and we understood what are the before and after procedure position. Now we'll see, as a nurse, what's your role? See, role of nurse, this is very important. As a nurse, first of all, few things you have to check. क्या क्या contraindications है, you have to check. As a nurse, you have to check the contraindications. Under what contraindications thoracocentesis cannot be carried out? First contraindication is any kind of bleeding disorder. If any kind of bleeding disorder is present in the client as a past history, then you cannot let the client undergo this procedure. Okay, agar the client is on anticoagulant therapy, or if any bleeding disorder is being there, okay, hemophilia is there, so you cannot let the client undergo thoracocentesis. This is the first contraindication. This is a contraindication of thoracocentesis. This is very important and can be a question. What is the contraindication of thoracocentesis? That is any kind of bleeding disorder, or if the client is on anticoagulant therapy. Okay, so first of all, as a nurse, you have to check this. Then check all the vital signs, especially the blood pressure. Okay, because after the procedure, client को hypotension हो सकता है. So before that, before the procedure, you have to monitor the vital sign, the pulse, the BP, the blood pressure. You have to see. Okay, any past allergies is there, past history is there, you have to check. Then informed consent. And one more thing you need to understand, it is the duty of the physician to take this informed consent, get signed, but you have to check whether it is signed or not. आपको check करना है कि sign हुआ है कि नहीं. As a nurse, you need to check this, cross check उसको करना है. Then what is the next? You have to give a proper positioning. Proper positioning to the client, जो कि I made you understood what is the before posture. You have to make the client sit upright, leaning forward, and the elbows should be resting on a cardiac table, and the legs are being supported with a stool. After that, you are doing the posture. So this is the before posture. Okay, you have to give this procedure to the client, and it should be carried out under local anesthesia. Okay, local anesthesia के अंडर में it is carried out. Okay, so what is the role of nurse? You have to give a proper position, you have to check the contraindications, you have to give the local, you have to check whether it is carried out in local anesthesia or not, you have to give a proper position, you have to check the vitals. Okay, and so these are the things you need to know as a role of nurse. Okay, so and last but not the least, we'll see what are the major complications. Procedure के बाद what are the complications that can happen to a client after thoracocentesis. So complications of thoracocentesis. Okay, complications of thoracocentesis. The first and the most important complication of thoracocentesis is hypovolemic shock. Okay, so it can be a question to you. Okay, the first question is can be what are the contraindications of thoracocentesis, that we understood. If it is in, if the client is having any bleeding disorders or if the client is on anticoagulant therapy, that you have to check as a nurse. And the foremost complication procedure के बाद सबसे पहला complication क्या हो सकता है, that is hypovolemic shock. Okay, so you have to check the client's orientation level, the client's hydration status. Okay, and what is the appearance of the skin, flushing is there or not, the client's blood pressure, everything vitals you need to monitor to prevent any complications. So what can be the second complication? Second most complication is bleeding. After the procedure, if the you have to assess properly the puncture site. Okay, puncture site को आपको properly assess करना है. You have to monitor the puncture site to check any signs of bleeding, any signs of infection, to check any signs of leakage of the fluid. Okay, so this is the second complication. Third is pneumothorax. Okay, so these are some of your basic complications that can happen and very important complications that you need to monitor after thoracocentesis, that are your hypovolemic shock, bleeding and pneumothorax. Okay, so this was all for today about your thoracocentesis. I hope you understood it. Okay, so we saw the definition, we saw what are the causes of the thoracocentesis. Yes, we saw how the procedure is being carried out, and it's a completely sterile procedure. As you can see this procedure, just see. Just a second. We saw how this procedure is being carried out. What is the puncture site? Okay, that is a 7 to 9 intercostal space. Okay, and what are the contraindications? What are the signs and symptoms of the pleural effusion? What is pleural effusion? And meniscus sign is being seen in pleural effusion as a chest X-ray. We can understand by the whitish appearance. And what is the role of nurse in thoracocentesis? What are the positions we are giving in thoracocentesis, as well as what are the complications? Okay, I hope the class was helpful. Thank you for joining and have a good day.